the 3rd of August today. I thought we could do a August goals, what goals I set in July, if I managed to get them, what goals I've got for August, my plans for August, all that sort of jazz. I thought we could do a video on that, and at the end of August I'll do another, or the start of September, ooh that's scary, the start of September I'll do a video recapping this video, seeing what I've got done. Let's get into it. If you are new to my channel, hello, I am Shannon at Cook Creates. If not, hello, welcome back. Thank you for watching this video with me. I am a crocheter, knitter, sewer, crafter, just a general all-round crafter. Here we have some days in the life. I do project sort of progress videos, all that sort of stuff. I'll put my socials here. I am just Cook Creates over everything. You can follow me over on TikTok and Instagram for more sort of daily updates, things like that. I do post quite a bit over there. But yeah, follow me along on there and let's get into the video. So I wrote down my July goals in here last time. I've just been through these and I didn't really achieve a lot in July, but I did finish some projects. Did I finish projects in July? I don't even know where I'm up to be fair, but let's just go through it and we'll see what we've done and what not. So I had 3 projects I wanted to get finished in, well technically 4 projects I wanted to get finished in July. I wanted to finish the Elmo jumper, both knitted cardigans that I'm working on, and the poncho that I'm working on. So we'll start off with the Elmo jumper. The Elmo jumper is actually in here. I've brought this bag with me so that we could get it out and see. It is sort of buried in with all of these bits of yarn, because this is sort of like a scrap yarn bag where I just keep all of like my bits and bobs essentially of yarn that I wanted to keep, because I have been doing a big sort through of my yarn. I've been putting a lot of it on my Vinted. My Vintage's name, I can't even think of what it is right now, but I'll put it in the description. I do still have some yarn on there if anyone wants to go check that out, but this is the yarn that I wanted to keep, so I kept it in this bag so it's away from all the yarn that I'm selling essentially. So the Elmo jumper is this jumper. The pattern is by Off the Chain with Jack. It is a really nice pattern, however when it's come to sewing it up, it just has not gone right for me at all. It's just way too short. If I hold this up to my body, like, wait, I don't think you can see. Let me see if I can sort of maneuver myself. Oh, I'll tell you what, let me put it on actually. Okay, this is it on. I am sat down by the way, but if needs be we can always stand up. This is the situation at hand. There is just way too much gap between the end of the cardigan and my wrist. Now, you can put cuffs on this. There is a cuff bit in the pattern for you to put a cuff on it. But realistically, if I was to put a cuff, I haven't got it on right, if I was to put a cuff on this, I'd want it about that thick, at the thickest. Potentially could block this, potentially, but I don't know if it's going to stretch it out enough. I think my plan is, I'm going to try and finish it off because I put so much time and effort into this, so much work into it. I don't want to give up on it. And I've put it in this bag, and I think because it was in the bag, it's underneath some yarn, it's sort of out of sight, out of mind. I haven't been bothered about it. I think I've sort of pushed it away and I'm like, I don't want to deal with that in case it goes wrong, but I think I need to fix it. The yarn's also a little bit funny, like when you put your arm down, you've got this sort of bit here, which I'm not a big fan of, but again, I don't know if that'll fix itself when I sew the other side, because I've only sewn one of the arms up so far. I need to sew this arm up. I also did the size large as well. From what I remember, I don't think there were measurements on the pattern, I can't remember to be honest, but typically in UK stores, whatever, if I'm buying online or anything, I will buy myself a medium. So I thought if I make myself a large, it's going to be oversized, it's going to be baggy. This is chunky. This is like, ugh, not a vibe. So, and you've got to put a cuff on this anyway, so you don't have to put a cuff on it, but I think my plan was to put a cuff on this neckline. So maybe like if you like pull it up a little bit, I just honestly don't know. And it's also very tight there as well. However, I don't know if it's my fault that this has happened as well, because on the pattern it told you to do a whip stitch to stitch it up. So you start at the very bottom where these squares are here and you whip stitch. I thought I was better than the pattern and I decided to do a slip stitch using my crochet hook and slip stitched it. So I am going to undo the slip stitch and see if a whip stitch will be better. I'm not 100% sure if there's any difference in the stitches really. I don't know if it might loosen it up a little bit. I'm not 100% sure to be honest, but I'm just not vibing with it at all. I like the actual like design of it, but in my head I was envisioning it to be a lot more baggier than it is, and a lot more sort of oversized. I am going to take this off because it is currently strangling me, but my goal for August is to try and get this finished, or at least stitched up, so that I can decide what I want to do with it. I have got a steamer, so worst case scenario, well technically the best case scenario actually, is that I steam it and it works. I could steam it and it doesn't work, and then I'll just undo the squares and use the squares for something else. I don't really know, to be fair, but I don't want to give up on this because I've spent so long doing it. It wasn't a short project, so yeah, maybe that'll be a separate video of me fixing it up. I don't know. Okay, that is that one off and to the side. My next projects that I wanted to get finished with my knitted cardigans. So I'm knitting my sister a cardigan for Christmas, and I have a knitted cardigan that I started when I very first taught myself to knit. It was my very first project. I've been working on that slowly. I've taken it to work with me, and it's currently in the boot of the car, and when I can be bothered, or when I've got a break at work, I'll take it into it and I'll work on it while I'm on my break, because I'm just doing the sleeve. I am not a big fan of doing the sleeve, so it just isn't getting done, but it will get done, it will get finished. I'm not putting too much pressure on myself to finish that. The other cardigan I'm knitting is for my sister for Christmas. I do need to try and get that done, and one of my August goals is to finish that cardigan off. So I've done, I don't even think I've done the back panel yet of that, so I need to do the back panel, the 2 front panels, and then the sleeves. I just need to crack on with it and get on with it and just work on it essentially. I don't think I worked on that at all through July, so I don't really know why I put that as one of my goals to finish it, but whatever. And then my next goal for July was to finish the poncho that is actually in here. So I started this just as like a sort of side project because 2 reasons actually. The first reason was that I really wanted to try this Make It Bloom Chun yarn from Rico. It's this like sequiny yarn, and you hold, it's really thin, you hold it with another yarn. It doesn't really add any weight to your project, so you can hold it with whatever yarn you want, and it just adds these nice like sparkles in between each stitch essentially. So I started this as a poncho, and I technically am not following a pattern for this, but when I did research it, it basically said that you could do the neckline as long as you wanted it to, like as long as it'll fit you obviously. So as big as you want, but just make sure that it's got 4 points, so 4 increased corners, which it does, because that's a corner, that's a corner, that's a corner, and then there's another corner there. However, let me put this on as well, because I'm debating frogging this actually. So I think the longer it's getting, the more it is sort of fixing itself, and the more it's sort of like, I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of the neckline, and I think realistically, am I actually going to wear this? Like wear, oh I guess it doesn't look too bad when it's like that, if I like pull my hair out of it. Let's have a see. It doesn't look too bad when it's like that. When I tried this on last time, it was really like ruffled at the neck and it looked a bit silly, but that doesn't look too bad. But I'm thinking in my head, like, when am I realistically going to wear this? So I'm debating frogging it. The only thing that's putting me off frogging it is I have made some mistakes while making this, and I have had to frog it back a few stitches, and this Rico yarn is so difficult to frog back. I think it's because it's got the sequins in it. It doesn't like to be pulling the sequins apart, so I don't know whether to frog this or whether to just keep going with it. I'm not 100% sure. I'm also using for this project the 100% cotton, what is this? I think it's a James C. Brett one. Yeah, James C. Brett, it's 100% pure cotton DK in the shade Blush. So I started off with 3 balls of this. I've got 1 and a bit balls left. So I have probably got enough to finish this poncho, but I just don't know if I want to finish it, that's the problem. But then I don't want to just put it in the bag and forget about it. So I've seen on Instagram, I think it was this really cool, like big granny square oversized jumper type thing. The only problem with that is I think if I was to unpick this and do this, I'd need to get some more of this yarn and potentially another cone of this Rico. Although you do get a lot on there, to be fair, you do get a lot on there. So I don't know whether to maybe unpick this and make one of them in this. The ones that I'd seen, people had made them out of like scrap yarn, like this sort of stuff, and it was all like crazy colours, which I really love. But I'm thinking if I can figure out how to do that, then, well, I mean, it's not really hard. It was just 2 giant granny squares, one for the front and one for the back, and then the granny stitch sleeves on them, so it didn't look difficult to do. So I'm thinking if I could do them, and then I could make myself a couple, because I feel like they'd be really nice for winter. They'd be nice for just like lounging around the house in, just chilling out, just throwing on, and I feel like I'd wear that more than I'd wear this poncho. But I feel like sitting here with this poncho on, this is actually really nice. It's not as long as I want it to be yet. Can you see it only comes up to like my upper arms? But then I don't know, I am debating on picking this. I feel like I might frog this and then start again with the different project. I don't think that's going to be an August job, because I've got some projects I do want to get done in August that I've got a bit more priority, but we could maybe see about doing it after I've done my more important projects. So I didn't finish any of them projects. None of them got finished, which I don't really know why I set them as goals, because I couldn't realistically finish them anyway. I don't know why I did that. So the next one was to start another Christmas gift, which I haven't done. I have bought the yarn for Adam's Christmas gift, but I haven't started it yet, so I haven't done that. The next one was to continue posting and growing, which I think I have done. I've got a lot more YouTube subscribers, so if you have subscribed, thank you. If you've not, please make sure you subscribe. I do try and post weekly on here. If not, it's every second week, but I am really trying to get one video up at least a week. So I've been growing a little bit on here. TikTok, I've been doing really great on. Instagram, I'm kind of giving up a little bit on Instagram. I've been stuck on the same follower number for ages, and I'm not too fussed about follower numbers, but it's also like I don't get a lot of engagement on there, and I do post pictures on there, I post stories on there, and I don't really get anything back. Whereas with TikTok, I do post a lot more on TikTok, but I also post a lot more on TikTok because I get a lot more back. Like even posts that I think might flop or just be like a rushed post, I'll still get a lot more engagement on there than I would on Instagram, that I put a lot of thought and effort into putting like on the caption or something. I don't know. So we're gonna keep going with Instagram, but we're a bit like whatever with Instagram. The next one was to start Adam's Christmas gift, which I have ticked off on here because I bought the yarn for it, I've just not started it. So an August goal is to cast Adam's Christmas gift on. He's getting a knitted gift. I'm not going to tell you what I'm making him because he's sat right here, but that will be a separate video when I've finished that. And then the last two I actually managed to do. I managed to get these goals. The one of them was to finish sorting the front room, which we did. It is still a little tiny bit messy in there, but all the craft stuff sorted out. The craft corner is sorted out in there. So that was one of the main goals for the month of July, to get that done. And then the last goal was to finish the Spider-Man costume, which we managed to get done. I will insert a picture of Adam here in his Spider-Man costume. That is completely done. I'm hoping that either next week's video or the week after video will be the breakdown of the Spider-Man costume, how we made it, tutorials we followed, all that sort of stuff, what we changed, plans for the next costume, all that sort of stuff will be in either next week's video or the week after, I'm hoping. So yeah, make sure you do subscribe, and then you can obviously keep up with that as well. So that was July's goals. Again, didn't get as much done as what I'd hoped. I'm trying to think of what projects I finished in July. I finished the blanket, which I was working on, the like scrap blanket. I've got a feeling that that is it. I genuinely think that that is the only project I finished in July, because I did the rainbows, but I think the rainbows I finished in June. Let me see if I like wrote that down. I don't know. But anyways, let's get on to August goals properly. So I have challenged myself goal-wise to finish 3 projects in August. The first one I'm going to have to finish in August because it's my sister's birthday and it is a present for her. I did say to her when I started this, she doesn't know what it is, but I did say to her, I'm going to make you something for your birthday. If it isn't done in time for your birthday, I will have to give it to you after your birthday. She didn't seem too fussed about that, but I am hoping to get it done in time for her birthday. So I'm making her I want to say it's called the Monarch, or is it Monarch or Monarch? I don't know, butterfly. I'll put the creator's name here, the pattern writer's name here, and I'm getting there with this, slowly getting there. I've completely done the back. It is a tapestry crochet project, and the way the pattern tells you to do it is to carry your threads along the back, so you've obviously got a very clear front bit and then the back's all got the thread on it, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this style tapestry where it's the same on both sides. I've forgotten what it's called, but I'm sure someone will put in the comments what it is called. I've just got a lot of ends to sew in essentially for this. I've sewn in a few because I have been attempting to sew ends in as I go, just so it's a bit less effort for when I finish it. So like for example, this section's all sewn in other than a few of the black ones, and then on the other side, yeah, I just need to get on with it basically and just sew in the ends of that. So that's the back completely done. And then I have been working on the front panel, which I think I'm up to row 54 of this, maybe row 55. So we are getting there slowly. I'm hoping to have this panel completely finished by the end of today, but I have got something else that I'm going to start working on in a minute, which I will discuss in a second. So if it's not finished by today, it's not the end of the world. We can always do it tomorrow and then finish it off for next week. I'm hoping, but by the end of next week, this project will be completely done, because like I said, it's a birthday, sort of mid to end August. We've got about 3 weeks left. I need to get some buttons for this, actually. I do need to get some buttons. I don't know what to do about the button situation, but we can always have a look for buttons and see if we can get some nice ones for that anyways. So that's the butterfly cardigan. That is gonna have to be finished in August. I'm telling myself that now. The next one is to finish Molly's Christmas gift, which again, I did that as a July thing and it didn't end up getting done because other projects took priority. Like doing this, for example, took priority over doing the Christmas gift. So if I get the Christmas gift done, that's really great, smashed it. But if not, I'm not going to be too hard on myself. I'm not going to be like, why didn't I get that done? Because we might not get it done. I'm also a very new knitter as well. Like, I'm very new to knitting. I've not made like a proper garment yet. I have started the cardigan that I've been working on, and the cardigan that I'd started for myself. So I do know a little bit about, like, obviously the shaping and how to follow the patterns and everything, but I've just not finished the proper garment yet. So that's the Christmas gift. My next goal, which I have already spoken about, is to cast on Adam's Christmas gift. The yarn is all in an organza bag waiting to be used. I just need to get it done. I am very much a multiple projects on the go kind of crafter. I enjoy having different projects to grab if I'm a bit bored of doing something. Like, for example, the butterfly cardigan that I'm making, you have to follow the graph for because it's tapestry crochet. So sometimes if I can't be bothered following a graph, I don't want to concentrate on a graph, I'll then go and pick up the knitting. Or I'll pick up something that I've done, like the poncho, that's a bit more easier, and it's just like doing the same stitch but like I don't need to concentrate on. So I am very much enjoying having different projects on the go. I am excited to start Adam's Christmas present. I think it is going to be a bit of a challenge for me, but I think if I cast it on now, it's going to give me loads of time before Christmas. My goal is to have all of my Christmas presents done before December, before the start of December, because my goal is to do Vlogmas this year. Yeah, so my goal is to do Vlogmas this year, which I'm super excited about, but I don't want Vlogmas to be taken up by me making Christmas presents. I want to do some fun bits. I'm thinking I might start a project at the start of December, like maybe like a Christmassy themed thing, like a blanket or something, and then try and make that throughout Vlogmas as well. And then because I do work 4 or 5 times a week, so I am thinking realistically, if I'm trying to do a vlog a day, it might be a little bit boring at times, because sometimes I just don't have anything to do, especially if I get a lot of overtime at Christmas as well. So yeah, my plan is to start some sort of Christmassy blanket or Christmassy themed item at the start of December, and then we can just work on that throughout the rest of the like Vlogmas. So yeah, but let me know in the comments what you think about that, and we can get that done. But I just want to try and get all my Christmas presents done by the end of November, start of December. Then just like last month, I want to just keep continuing to grow and continuing to just make content on here and on TikTok and Instagram. So I don't really have an idea in mind of how many followers I want or how many subscribers I want. I want more of a community rather than just people following me because they follow me, if that makes sense. So I've wrote down my subscribers and following count. So on here I've got 39 subscribers. TikTok I've got 1,039 followers, and then on Instagram I've got 81 followers. So hopefully next month the following count might go up a little bit, but obviously I'm not too fussed. I'd rather have a community. I'd rather have people that comment and that like the videos rather than people who are just following for the sake of following. What are you doing there? My final goal for August is to get my little business up and running again. So I used to have a crochet business called Little Hooks, and it was in its prime. It was booming. It was thriving. I used to do markets and had a Etsy store, had an online store, and it was doing really well. And then I got really bad burnout. I didn't crochet for ages and ages and ages. It's only recently really that I've taken up crocheting again and that I've actually been like properly doing it. So the website's still there, the items are still on there. I have sold a few bits on Vinted. I do need to go through the items and delete any that I've sold, because a lot of the things I made I don't really have the yarn for anymore, so I wouldn't be able to sort of replicate it if it has already sold. So yeah, I just need to do that and sort out the website and try and get that back up and running. But that is one of my goals for August, to try and do that. I did want to do that a few weeks ago, but we've just been so busy. Life's just been crazy. So yeah, we're going to try and get Little Hooks back up and running, aren't we, Bob? Yeah, we are. So that is my August goals. Make sure you like, subscribe and comment on this video. Let me know what your goals are for this month as well. And yeah, we will do another video like this at the start of September, and I'll go through and tell you everything that I've done, and then also my goals for September as well. Let me know in the comments what sort of content you want to see from me as well, because I have got some plans. I've got some notes of what sort of videos I want to do. But if there's anything in particular that you guys want to see, please do let me know. I am gonna record myself doing the horse. I'm gonna do a full vlog of me making the horse. I obviously can't give away the pattern because the pattern is a paid pattern on Etsy, but I can obviously link the pattern, and I'll just do updates as and when I'm making little bits for it. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to my channel for all of that exciting stuff, and I shall see you in the next one. Thank you so much for joining me and listening to me all about my goals for the month.